Yeah, g'day folks. Please excuse the wind. It's a really strong northerly today. I just wanted to upload a quick video on what's waking up on the second day of spring, and just a couple of things at the end that I don't think will wake up again. I think I've killed them, but I'll just share why that happened, I think. Alright, so first off, the Maom, or Om, I think, in Vietnam, is it survived winter in a pond. So it's a herb that they use in soup. So if you want to grow it over winter without having to buy it again each year, just put it under cover in your pond, and it won't thrive through winter, but it won't die off. So that's the first one. The Pomelo that I planted in August is loaded with flowers now, so it obviously likes the spot that I chose for it. So I might get to taste my first Pomelo this year. This is the Nam Roy Pomelo, and it's looking quite good. Asparagus never really went to sleep, but it's starting to take off now. We're getting a lot more spears, so that's another thing that's waking up. The Pepino, very impressed with these. I actually love the taste. Tasted them for the first time a few weeks ago, and yeah, really glad I saw them on Real Life Fruitopia and decided to try them, and yeah, taste better than a cantaloupe, I reckon. They're similar. Strawberries are going gangbusters. I've got about 5 different varieties this year. So we were buying too many from the shop, so I thought we'll just chuck them in everywhere we can. But it's just one bed. It's going really well. This one's a bit hard to see because it's just got a tiny bit of growth, but this is the Lee Jujube, and I planted this one on video on a really cold, windy, rainy night right in the middle of winter, and it's waking up now. So it was probably the last plant to wake up. So just a tip, if you plant them, that's usually looks like what happens, that they woke up later than the rest of them. Peaches have woken up. These are just dwarf. I've got 2 of these dwarf peaches, super dwarf ones, and nice flowers on them. Not as many flowers this year as last year, so it might be a bit of a lower fruit year. Red Shatut, 1 year in the ground, probably 2 years old. It's woken up and it put out fruit before it put out flowers. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry, put out fruit before it put out leaves. But, that's going to be a nice tree. Bacon avocado, 18 months in the ground, probably 2.5-year-old tree, absolutely loaded with flowers, more than last year, and they're just everywhere. Which will be pollinating the Hass, which is also starting to get flowers. Same thing happened last year. The bacon was a little bit in front, but they both ended up having flowers at the same time. There's a more advanced bunch there. So hopefully after we harvest the avocados that are on it, some new ones up here. The main persimmon, it's about 5 years old, is starting to wake up. It should enjoy the new fence, a bit of extra protection. I took out a nectarine tree that was there and I put another persimmon in, because we eat a lot of them. And this sugarcane, once that gets harvested, that corner is going to be for the pepinos. I was struggling to decide what to put in that corner, but I think the pepinos will go well there, and I've moved the sugarcane to another area to use as a windbreak. The plum that was in my shorts video with all the blossoms started to die off now, and the leaves are coming out, so I should start to see fruitlets on that soon. All the shallots and garlic really took off. I lost a few flowers on the white sapote, but a few new ones have come out, so we lost a few in cold weather, but looks like we might get at least one fruit on it the first year that I've had it. The pineapple guava starting to wake up. Once I've finished all my plastic container beds, I'll do a video on them, but they're really a bonus. These lettuces have been growing all through winter, getting some heat off the brickwork and the stones, and these are constantly getting trimmed. As you can see underneath, they're starting to get tall, but they just keep come out 2 days later and they're back to this size again. A lot of blueberries this year. Got 3 different varieties next to each other, and I've only had them, this is the second season, but there's so much fruit on them, and at nice picking height for kids. You can just walk past and grab a few. The wonderful pomegranate, hoping to get some fruit off that this year, second season. It's woken up nicely, as has the gyro persimmon. It's going to be nice looking in the morning sun. I've transplanted this dwarf apricot 2 times now, because I wasn't getting much fruit off it. Let's see if it likes this spot in 100% sun. It looks like it survived the transplant well. Here we've got a dwarf self-pollinating almond tree. It was loaded with flowers earlier, and I think we've got quite a bit of fruit set on this one. So I've never seen what almonds look like on the tree, so I'm quite interested to see how this turns out. And finger limes, I'm quite hopeful we'll get more than enough of these 2 plants this year to eat with our seafood, if we're allowed to go fishing again. Happy with him. And now for a couple of failures. This was it was a beautiful Thai Kiwi Savoy mango, grafted, and during winter I cut the flower tips off. They were just old and just, I thought I'll give it a tidy up. And then about a week later it just died. So don't prune them ones in winter. But it's not a complete loss, because down here it's got about a 5-year-old rootstock, and I'm going to call the nursery owner and ask him what he grafts onto. And the rootstock is getting side shoots, so I'll end up just putting this in the ground and letting it shoot out from here. I'll just cut it there, and then I've got a fairly old stem there, so it's not a complete write-off. And unfortunately the wax jambu, I think it's had it. I'm going to buy another one and give it another try, because I know what I did wrong. I put this one in this pot in May, and it was quite a hot day when I put it in, so I gave it a good dose of water, and that water never dried out. That pot is still really heavy, so next time I try a wax jambu, I won't be watering it before winter, that's for sure. It's just slowly gone brown. This was all green a few weeks ago, but it's I'll leave it in there just in case it does get some new life, but not real hopeful. But anyway folks, I just thought I'd give you a quick run around, and there's a couple of black sapotes. Just thought I'd give you an update, because it's going to be raining quite heavily the next couple of days. I won't get a chance to do one over the weekend, so that's it for now. See you next time. Cheers.